News at 11 a.m. starts with breaking news.
Right now at 11, the fallout continues to grow after Disney suspended Jimmy Kimmel's late night show. And right now, a rally is just getting started in Hollywood. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Local congressional leaders, along with Hollywood unions, are gathering at the Dolby Theater. NBC4's John Klimek is live in Hollywood with a message they want to send. John.
Hey, Annabelle, yeah, right here on Hollywood Boulevard. You can see the group that's behind me. They're just now getting started. And what we're seeing here, as you mentioned, a delegation of Congress people here over Jimmy Kimmel. There's also members of IATSE, SAG-AFTRA, the Writers Guild, the Teamsters. These are unions that have been affected by the people who are now out of work while they try to figure out exactly what's happening with the show. This, of course, comes after comments made on the late night show. The congressional delegation here today and unions supporting Kimmel see this as purely an issue of the First Amendment protection of speech.
Now, whether or not you like the joke, you might think it's in bad taste, but he has a right to make that. And the Constitution's very clear that the government shouldn't control speech.
What about the argument about licensing in broadcast versus cable, that broadcast has a different set of rules, basically, as opposed to where cable is in regards to jokes like this?
So broadcasting doesn't have any rule about criticizing the president. Broadcasting has rules about obscenity. They have rules about incitement to violence. This was neither of those.
This has kind of been polarizing on this issue as well. We've noticed some of the signage of the people that have come out here talking about only dictators silence critics. There's another sign in the back that says Kimmel was right. A lot of people with different ideas in all of this, Annabelle, but this is something that is still part of what we're all dealing with right now and trying to understand exactly what's going to happen next to Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Yeah, you know, John, and what kind of recourse do these congressional unions have?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I asked Congresswoman Friedman about that. What can they do now? The FCC's already made the call on this. She said they're going to try to do as much as they can to put as much pressure on the FCC as a result of all this, and potentially take this into the courts as well, potentially even the Supreme Court.
All right. John Klimek, thank you so much for being out there for us. Appreciate it. Now to breaking news in Upland. That's where a high-speed chase involving two teenagers ended in gunfire. The chase started in the San Gabriel Valley, then made its way to San Bernardino County. And this is a live look. Take a look from our camera at the scene. Neighbors on Euclid Avenue woke up to gunshots and police activity this morning. And because of the investigation that's going on, the neighborhood will likely be closed all day. NBC4's Lauren Coronado has been at the scene all morning. She spoke with some of the neighbors about the gunshots that woke them up from their sleep.
This is where the police chase finally came to an end, outside a neighbor's home here on Laurel Avenue, where one of the teens and police exchanged gunfire while a family was inside the home. Neighbors I talked with say they heard the gunfire and couldn't tell how close it was to their own homes.
It was pow, 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 pow. Off and on, it was like maybe like 20. We flew back into the kitchen and down on the ground, and so, yeah.
Upland neighborhood at a home on Laurel Avenue and Orchard Lane just off Euclid Avenue, which stemmed from a police chase out of Covina around 11:30 Sunday night.
Our officers had observed the suspect vehicle, no headlights on, traveling at speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour.
Assistant Chief Charles Leonard says officers ran a license plate check and the Audi came back as armed and dangerous, connected to robberies and a carjacking in Downey, Whittier, and LA earlier Sunday. A car chase began and eventually ended with a pit maneuver at Euclid and 7th here in Upland. The pair inside the car, which Leonard says were 17-year-olds, ran from the car and away from police. One teen was detained almost immediately. The other kept running, shot at officers, and broke into that neighbor's home on Laurel. The homeowner called police and officers surrounded the home until the teen came out.
Shots again were exchanged, and at that time, the suspect was hit in the arm and in the leg with non-life-threatening injuries.
Assistant Chief Leonard says the teen was rushed to the hospital while detectives recovered a semi-automatic handgun. Assistant Chief Leonard also tells me, according to the family whose home was broken into, the teen fired 2 rounds at the homeowner while his wife and daughter were in the home with him. Thankfully, the family was not injured, and neighbors say they're relieved the chase didn't end worse.
I just thank God that no one died.
This neighborhood is expected to be closed off for the investigation for majority of the day. Of course, we'll keep you posted with the latest developments throughout the day on our NBCLA app and at 3 p.m. right here on NBC4. Reporting in Upland, I'm Lauren Coronado, NBC4 News.
In about 2 hours from now, President Donald Trump is set to make a major announcement about autism. He told reporters he believes acetaminophen is, quote, a very big factor in increasing the risk of autism. His claim contradicts the bulk of scientific research, which suggests there's no direct link between autism and taking acetaminophen during pregnancy. Acetaminophen is the active ingredient in Tylenol and many other cold and flu medications. The company that makes Tylenol tells NBC News, quote, we believe independent, sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. New this morning, a call for the United Nations to take action against ongoing immigration operations here in Southern California. Congresswoman Maxine Waters and civil rights leader Dolores Huerta joined attorneys and U.S. citizens who say they were wrongfully arrested and beaten by federal immigration agents. They announced a petition to the United Nations Human Rights Council to investigate the Trump administration's immigration operations. They say those ongoing operations violate human rights and unlawfully profile Latinos.
I never saw any kind of abuse like we're seeing today when people are being kidnapped off the street, taken away in unmarked cars, when the people that are kidnapping them are masked so nobody knows who they are.
When people are targeted because of how they look or the language they speak, the government is absolutely failing in its most basic duty.
Congresswoman Waters and the Carrillo law firm are calling on the public to sign their petition for the United Nations to open an independent human rights investigation. They're also asking the UN Human Rights Council to visit the U.S. to observe ongoing immigration operations. Rosh Hashanah begins at sundown tonight. It's the celebration of the Jewish New Year and the beginning of the High Holy Days. NBC4's Brittany Hope is in Pico Robertson, where the LAPD is on high alert and have increased patrols around synagogues there.
Anti-Semitism is on the rise. I've covered a number of cases in the San Fernando Valley just over the past few months. Charlie Kirk, an avid supporter of Israel, was just assassinated, and in a few weeks will mark 2 years since Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel. So the LAPD says that it is doing 4 things right now to protect those in LA who are observing the High Holy Days. First, officers will be doing extra patrols and will be visible. The department is engaging with Jewish institutions and community leaders. Officers are being educated on the dates of the Jewish High Holy Days and the customs, traditions, and forms of worship. And LAPD is updating the locations and points of contact for all Jewish houses of worship, schools, centers, and institutions. Now, Jewish communities like Pico Robertson have had more patrol in past High Holy Days, just like last year. I was here in June covering security for Shavuot. Rabbi, tell us that is security, that having law enforcement here is really important.
I'm hoping that we understand that, and as a result, make sure that the high holy days of the Jewish people, conservative, Reform, and Orthodox, are well protected by the police.
And a reminder, Rosh Hashanah starts tonight at sunset and Yom Kippur ends next Thursday night. Reporting in Pico Robertson, Brittany Hope, NBC4 News.
All right, guys, let's go outside and take a live look there at a gorgeous Catalina. And guess what? The countdown is beginning. We are just 10 minutes away from the start of fall. And our meteorologist, Stephanie Olmo, is tracking the first alert forecast for us. And those conditions, it certainly doesn't feel like fall these days, doesn't it?
No, not today. We're feeling very warm out there, and also that humidity has increased. So we're feeling a little bit sticky out there. Yeah, that's right. So as you pointed out, Annabelle, officially at 11:19 this morning, this is the fall equinox. This is the point of the year where we have the sun directly overhead at the equator. The length of day and night, they're nearly equal, so we will experience about 12 hours of daylight. And then after today, the days get shorter and shorter until the winter solstice. That's when we have the sun setting sooner, so it gets darker sooner. Temperatures right now, 81 in San Bernardino, as well as down into Riverside, upper 70s in Ontario, 76 in West Covina, 79 in Santa Clarita, low 80s in Van Nuys, and it continues to warm as we head into this afternoon. We're talking about temperatures warming back into the 90s, especially in the valleys and the Inland Empire. Dew point temperatures right now in the 60s, so We talk about temperatures in the low to mid 60s. It goes to show how muggy it is. So especially around the basin, Anaheim, for example, West Covina, we're feeling a little bit sticky out there. We're tracking here some wet weather as we head into the next couple of days. Some showers, maybe the possibility of a couple of thunderstorms. More on that coming up here in just a few minutes. For now, back to you, Annabelle.
All right, Steph, thank you so much. Next at 11, it's that time of the